Last thing I want to ask you about phones in schools.
I was hearing about that.
As a father,
yeah,
and with children, that you have some kids that are like in different levels of school.
I'm having issues. Yeah, go on.
Now, for this year, they started it this year.
Yeah,
that you're not going to allow to have phones in classrooms in Toronto, in Ontario.
Yeah.
How has that been affecting with you and your kids?
Well, because I don't think they're really allowed to like bring their phones to school, right?
I think they can bring them, but they can't use them in the classroom.
Mine too. Mine.
Right? Okay,
like
yours.
The ones that are playing around right now.
Yeah.
Right. One's in grade 8, one's in grade 6. So
that's tough,
right? So now think of my issue is when they're home, bro. They can't take their eyes off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I gotta be grabbing it out of their hands and shit. And they want to fight me for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like crack, bro. It's an addiction.
It's an addiction. So I see that once they're on it, the attention they have an attention of a squirrel.
They don't even know you're in the room.
An attention of a squirrel. Yo, go on.
I'm gonna play some of this video here, courtesy of CTV News.
The Ontario government launches a series of restrictions when it comes to cell phones in schools.
On the first day back to class after the education minister announced the new policy, there was plenty of reaction. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris joins us live tonight with the latest. Siobhan.
Well, we talked to some teenagers today who admit they have a hard time concentrating in class with this window to the outside world in their hands. But we also heard from teachers who worry they'll spend more time policing than teaching.
Ontario has tried to get kids to disconnect in class before, but it's been a tough habit to break.
Always on social media and everything like that. It's hard to focus, it's hard to concentrate and like put your all into your work.
Some kids definitely really addicted. I can tell that like half of my class sitting in their phone like for the whole period and not doing nothing.
So the province is making a move it insists is not an outright ban.
It's restrictions with a sense of discipline and discretion.
Starting next school year, students in kindergarten through grade 6 will have to keep their phones on silent and out of sight for the entire school day. Kids in grades 7 through 12 won't be able to pull out their phones during class time, with a big exception.
When teachers know it's going to add value, they will allow it. In fact, they will encourage it.
Something students seem to welcome.
Maybe some will revolt, but for the most part, if it stays consistent and they enforce it, I don't know, it should be good.
But educators worry this policy may go too far.
In fact, a lot over the top.
Reasoning it may not be helpful to act like phones don't exist.
They need to learn how to properly use social media. They need to properly learn how to use their devices. They need to make sure that they don't use their devices to engage in cyberbullying.
Something educators can help kids understand, but
so there are going to be levels to the shit. Like you can't pull out your phone. You have to put it on silent. There has to be a reason that adds value, which I don't know what that means. I guess if you're using it for research, calculator, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, like you can't just go into your phone and just open Instagram and just stop. Just ignore the teacher. You know what I'm saying?
That's what most of them are doing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The add value part. You could be in your phone on the gram, and then when the teacher's like, "What are you doing on your phone?" Well, I was calculating something, and then you go swipe to your calculator, and you're like, "Look." Like I've been a kid before, not with social media, but I know how to lie when you're a kid. You know what I'm saying? A teenager especially.
They should just do what most workplaces do: restrict their internet. That's all they should really do. Just restrict the internet. As soon as you walk into that building, you can't get certain things.
But then, if you can't use the internet, will that prevent? I think when it comes to these phones, like the way the smartphone is now, you can't make a call neither. So if you have an emergency call, you're screwed.
No, your WhatsApp will still work.
Yeah.
Your WhatsApp will still work. Your direct line will still work. That's all they should make it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, only access to your direct line.
Yeah, and your WhatsApp, right? And
but
maybe
WhatsApp,
your
you can start getting it. Well, when you're back into a slippery slope. I'm back opening Instagram, looking at and liking shit and commenting back to people who are bullying me.
Restrict the internet like that with the apps. You know what I mean? The social media apps.
Right.
You restrict it. Don't trust me.
There's levels that you have to be able to do that.
Yeah, no. Because listen, when I used to work, right, I would go on my phone and let's just say I wanted to see something that was kind of X-rated.
Yeah.
Can't see it.
The internet in that office or where that area is blocking it from
blocks you from getting on OnlyFans, blocks you from getting on anything.
Yeah.
So you can restrict things, right? So all you got to do in the schools is restrict the apps and all that, and then boom, the kids will understand. They want to just police it and take it away on purpose, because what it is that I can learn from the phone now faster than I can learn from this human. Right? And if these kids are still watching the phone, there won't be no use for teachers.
Yeah. Because a lot of the stuff that the teacher is teaching, you can Google.
So now all I really have to do is say, okay, kids, all you guys are going to be homeschooled now. Stay the hell home. We'll shut down these schools. You guys stay home. A woman is in front of her desk at home teaching you for the next 8 hours of the day.
But then that becomes a bad thing as far as human interaction.
But then what also becomes it too is that our society of kids who are coming up aren't going to be as smart as they should be. Right? Look at China. China's ahead of us because of the way they teach their kids, of the way the schooling is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we're if you go over the polls of kids graduating and stuff like that, we're really low.
Yeah.
We're really low compared to the European countries, compared to the Asian countries. We're low.
Yeah.
A bunch of idiots over here, right? So what happens is that they're starting to notice that the scores are plummeting when it comes to the kids. And then what they figure out? It's the phone thing. But really, these kids are smarter than you think.
Yeah.
Right? Because they'll go home and they're still learning it while they're going home. They don't just shut off. They're still watching this console. So in order to get them to really concentrate, because they all have now memories of a scroll. It's so fast.
Right? Well, there's so much other things for them to pay attention to. How are you supposed to retain the information from a lecture in school?
So teachers need to get on their computers. Now their blackboard has to turn into a touchscreen computer. Right? That's how I see it. They got to go replace all the blackboards in the school, right? And make it a touchscreen. Things show up, boom, 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 and it's on their phone too.
Yeah. Interactive, very interactive.
So kids will be like, yeah, I can answer my question right from my phone.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, you put your hand up? Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Or there's a way to put your hand up cybernetically where it's it shows up on the teacher's screen that you want to answer the question, desk number such and such.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, I got the answer. And you know what I'm saying? It makes it where the student has some fun with this shit.
Yes, because it's so fast.
Yeah.
So now imagine a teacher for the next hour of class is trying to explain to you what the M equals.
Oh my God.
Is in a slow version of herself. You're gonna be
I wish I had a phone back then.
You're gonna be like, this woman's gonna make me fall asleep. Let's see what's going on today on Insta.
Who's on Snapchat right now?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? So they gotta figure out what they're doing with technology, because it's not really the kids, it's the educators. They're just trying to keep it in the old school way of things because they don't want to spend, they have no money.
They have to, well, they're not being funded. They might want to evolve, but ain't nobody funding them to evolve and get all that crazy Star Trek shit that you're talking about.
Yeah, so they're like, yo, take away the phone.
Yeah.
Take away the phone. So you still have a job. You want a job still? Take away their phone.
You know what that is? That's a bandage.
Yeah, so because instead of them keeping up with the times, they want to put them back in the old way of teaching still.
Yeah.
That's not the wave.
Yeah, take your phone away and then shut up and listen to me freaking just, so my next thing is, come on.
I'm falling asleep.
It's 2024. Find a way of giving me this information faster and more efficiently so that I can move on to the next thing. And, people are multitasking these days. We have mad apps on our phones, so we obviously have the ability to
text,
to multitask being in different places.
Yeah.
You could be on YouTube, you could be on Snapchat, you could be on Instagram, you could be all these different places. So we're able to absorb more shit in a quicker space of time. So if you're a kid and we still have to listen to the way that we used to listen to our lessons, bro, that's way too slow, fam.
My kid will be on the iPad. Just my 2-year-old alone will be on the iPad, and boom, She's already like this. Swipe. New a whole new program is on.
Yes.
And she watches it for. I'm like, you have a flipping attention span of a squirrel.
And she knows how to maneuver from thing to thing quickly.
But it's the attention span of a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like you get minimum 60 seconds.
Fam, the phone technology has made it to the point where like you can have your screen still running a video of YouTube, especially if you have like premium shit like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And now you can go back into Instagram and multitask being in Instagram while I'm still listening to this YouTube video. Or I can go text somebody while I'm on FaceTime. So like we've been put to this place in technology or in society where you're not just doing one thing at a time.
No.
Right? Like people multitask just as a norm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't even notice it, but like in life, you're constantly multitasking without even noticing it. You're not doing one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to this while you're doing this.
The Rothschilds. It's the old Rothschilds system. Scholar system.
Yeah.
That they see once, because it's still in their hands, the power of it. Once it gets out of their they don't want that out of their hands, because remember, they control what they're teaching our kids.
Yeah.
They're not teaching them how to save money. And here's the app to save the money. They're still giving them the old playbook.
Yeah.
So I think these kids are realizing like, nah, that's not true. Was there even a Christopher Columbus? Let me go look this up real quick in my phone on Google.
While I'm on Snapchat doing some other shit, I'm gonna go look this up on like you could just swipe, go to the other page, start looking at that, then go back to your like their brain can take in shit more quickly. Like,
but what it is that then you give them the test a week later. That's where they're failing it. You got to give them the test the same goddamn day.
Yeah, while everything's fresh in their mind.
You got to give it to them the same day. End of the day, you got to be like, okay, end of the day, you guys are, this is your test for your midterm. Like, I don't give a shit.
Because it's like with social media or just like trying to find somebody who's like, say, putting out music. If I have to take 3 steps to find your music video, I'm already not interested.
I'm gone.
Right? So like if with a student, if it takes 3 steps to get to the knowledge, you already lost them.
Squirrel.
Right? They heard about it, they learn about it, testing right now.
Memory of a fish.
You know what I'm saying? But even if you test them, like, are they going to retain the information after they, let's say, pass the test? Because you gave them the test right now, right? Because they retain the information right now. But after they pass the test, are they going to retain that information, or is this going to get cluttered with a whole bunch of other shit that's happening in life, or on their phone? I mean,
but at some point in their life, they could be like, I did this. I remember something from it. Let me go back.
Hopefully.
Let me go back to Google and Google this. Boom, boom, boom,
yes, at least they can still go back and go in the phone and be like, you know what? I can go find the information that I forgot a little bit of. Where we were like,
we gotta
go
back.
You better retain that information from school or go to a library or some shit and find out. Oh, we're old.
But I'm telling you, it's the old-fashioned way of the Rothschilds, how they kept us, right?
Yeah.
We didn't learn nothing about banking like that. We're taught math, but we weren't taught the math we really needed in the world today.
Yeah.
We weren't taught to save anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't show us that. They just gave us like different knowledge to like for uselessness.
And limited knowledge because everything was printed, right? So like my mom got me the encyclopedia collection. You know that brown that beige and brown encyclopedia collection that are in like old school household?
Yep.
I had that.
Yep.
But that information is dated.
Dated now.
So as the information progresses and we get new information, I can't reuse those books anymore.
Well, I tell you this, I believe that people are bending now history than it ever was before, because it's been the 200-year mark. Every 200 years you can bend history because it's called his story. You get what I'm saying? So I would still rely on the old books, texts, than what someone now can have a Google job and be like, okay, let's put this in here like this and write their own history.
Yeah, but like some of those old books are like, yo, we went to the moon. And then people are like, we didn't actually do that.
But see, that's the thing. Now, what do you believe? The old book or the new book?
To be honest,
it's like them rewriting the Bible right now.
Yeah. You couldn't do it.
No, you can, because there are different versions of the Bible now online, and they leave out certain passages.
Yeah. And that's where it becomes a slippery slope again, because it's like, bro, then what are we believing? Are we believing the evolved version, or are we believing what was the original version? Which one is right? You know what I mean? All the shit that you added and took the shit away from, or the original ones that were like from years ago.
You see, in the educated form, I feel the old way, yeah, because those were the beginnings of time. So you would want to obviously study those.
Yeah.
But then they got to take it and transform it into a new wave. You get what I'm saying? So like, if you're going to show me about Christopher Columbus, you better show it to me on a whiteboard now that lights up and has all the glitters and glitz. I could see the video being played in my classroom.
Yeah, but besides that, like, there's new information that what they taught us about Christopher Columbus back in the days, we know now is
It's not true.
Exactly. So in the classroom, they have to be giving us the upgraded versions of these stories.
But because they're running off of the old Rothschild's educational system, they can't do that. I can't let you know that. That's something now you have to go and figure it out for yourself. Right?
Well, it's like, this is why kids are back, full circle to the cell phones. Like, sometimes the kids probably sitting there listening to their teacher teach some shit, and it was like, that's not true.
No,
I read an article, or I listened to a YouTube video, and they said something completely different than this dumbass teacher.
Yeah.
I'm going back in my phone.
Yeah, I'll watch my teacher on YouTube.
Yeah. Listen, I learned a lot more from YouTube than I've learned in school over the years.
Straight up.
But let's wrap it up here, man. Got a nice 2-hour episode in the vault here.
Yes, we did.
Let's see here. You have any requests, sir, for the road?
Let me hear some Tupac, some Machiavelli.
Oh, some Machiavelli. You stay defaulting to Tupac, bro. Holy.
Peep the weakness in the rap game and sold it.
You're a Pacaholic.
I mean, that was the realest. He was one of the realest.
Listen, fam, you're not in a small club, bro. There's a lot of people who would kill somebody for Tupac, bro.
Yo, that's that. And you know what I think too? If Tupac was alive, he would like Drake.
I think so too.
He would love Drake. He would love Drake. He would have probably signed Drake. I'm telling you something. Drake would have probably been under him. That's who would have discovered, because he would have been like, yo, this guy remind me of me. He act, he could do that, he could rap, what, sing, what? He a triple threat. But yo,
don't do that, bro, because I did a video. Is Drake the new Tupac?
No,
and they went crazy.
He's not no new Tupac.
I went a little bit too far on purpose, but they went crazy.
They're gonna go mad on you, dog. What are you doing this for?
They're like, Tupac, what? No. How could he? Not a Canadian.
Nah. But I'm telling you the truth, though. Pac would have fucked with him.
I think so too. I
would have been like, yo, that's my little nigga.
I agree with that. Let me run some Pac for the road here.
We love hip hop.